Good morning, good afternoon to you all. It's now we're reaching finally the end of this long Watches and Wonders event, digital event. Today is a very short session. It's a little moment, a little video where we are sharing some of our own, let's say, memories and comments, as well as those of Ando-san about the limited edition that we are launching this year, the Octo Finissimo limited edition with Tadao Ando. So without further ado, 5 minutes of videos, and then if any, we will be answering your questions about this very special experience of ours. Good morning, good afternoon. It's now time to close this Watches and Wonders digital event. And this time we're not going to talk too much about products. We want to take you through a different kind of story, a kind of journey. We're going to go to Osaka. We are going to talk with Tadao Ando, Ando-san, the famous architect. And we are going to take you through the story of this beautiful collaboration that we initiated 2 years ago and that we are continuing this year with the second chapter, the story of the Octo Finissimo limited edition made with Tadao Ando.
時間というものは人間にとって生きるということと同じぐらいに大きな意味があるものです。そしてそれを時計にすると。時計というのは単に時間を刻むだけではなくて、しっかりと自分を表現するものと思うんですね。時計というのは機能的な時計を超えたもの。自分にとって機能を超えたものをここで表現しようとしておりますから、そういう面では、その月をイメージすることによって、時計がより神秘的になるように。と言いますのも、月というのは神秘的で非常に希望を持てるんじゃないかと。私は言うと希望のある時計を作りたい。
So, Fabrizio.
For me, it was an amazing experience, honestly. As a designer, to have the chance to meet one of the most iconic architects that we have today on Earth, it was a privilege. And we immediately start to discuss about creativity and the aesthetics. Tadao start to make many sketches with his big marker on the paper. He loves Octo Finissimo and the titanium one in particular because it's very close to the color of the concrete that Tadao used to play a lot with these architectural elements. And I think that my job during this partnership, it was not so impressive because Tadao makes the watch almost alone. So he arrives with this fantastic idea with all the graphical elements on the dial, and I just remove the 12, the 6, the indexes and the logo from the dial to leave more space to Tadao to have the better expression of his creativity. I think that the second dial is even better compared to the previous one, because you have this amazing signature, the rising moon, full of messages, full of very aesthetic, very Japanese in terms of aesthetics. So it's not so easy, but I think that the second chapter it's even better than the previous one.
時計を持ってその人の人格であるとか、その人の希望であるとか、その人がどういうふうに生きたいであるとか、というものを瞬間に察知してもらうようなものだと思ってますので、そのような形、そのような色彩、そのような時計の大きさといろいろ考えてこの時計にしました。この文字盤の色の濃いブルーは青空の濃い夜空の濃いブルーの色に満月があると。この時計をつけることによって希望を持って向こうの世界、遠い世界にまで生きるんだという意欲が湧くような時計にしたいと。今、パンデミックの時代に何としてでもみんなが希望を見つけなければならないという時計にしたいと思いました。
So we like to, we watchmakers, we like to tell you how difficult our job can be sometimes, how complex our lives are when we have to achieve extraordinary pieces. But we wanted to finish this session by telling you how inspiring, astonishing, educating our life can be as well when we have the chance to meet geniuses like Ando-san. We hope that those little stories that we share with you, let's say, will inspire you as well, will inspire our customers the way we've been inspired. We wish you a very good end of Watches and Wonders and hope to see you face to face very soon. Bye-bye.
Ciao a tutti.
We actually see a few questions popping out. One question actually from the person of our team here internally was asking, but why did we wait for today to present this product? Why did we not present it earlier? Well, for a beautiful, very poetic reason. Tonight, if you look at the sky and if you watch the sky above, let's say, above when it's a clear sky, you will see the shape of the moon, and it's exactly the shape of the moon that you would see on the dial. So that's why we picked up this very last day, just to make the connection to this to the moon and to this landscape and the sky we would see today. Quickly, a second question: do we plan to do another edition with Tadao Ando? What do you think? I mean, I have my own opinion, but
to another edition with Tadao Ando. But honestly, I think after the second chapter, I think it's could be interesting to have the third one. But it's even interesting for us to have a different collaborations, even because the first one was sold out. The second one, for my opinion, it's even better than the previous one. So to make the third one could be dangerous, because I don't know if it's possible to make a dial with Tadao better than the second one. So for me, it was a great experience. I would love to have a different experience with other Japanese artists. I think it's interesting even from the brand.
How do you manage your collaboration strategy? We know it's super important for the desirability of brands. What is our point of view? What are the challenges for any special edition collaboration partnership? I would and give my vision of it. Probably you have an in-depth view on the true collaboration. But the key word is collaboration. It means we work together with other people, and probably your answer about Tadao Ando is similar. There is a good collaboration is a collaboration where you feel that there can be a construction that is somewhat delivering something that is not existing, that is an added value to the existence. So the additional creativity of Tadao Ando here is clearly offering a creativity that is not existing. It's inspired by the design of the case. Let's say that the work of Ando-san on his own and our work on our own would never take us to this ultimate product. So here the collaboration is delivering an added value, and this only happens if the connection is, if the intuitive personae fundamentally between you, Fabrizio, and the other creative entity, or also between our maison, works. If there is no fit, there is no collaboration. And that's fundamentally the basis for good collaborations. Beyond a very strategic planning, it's actually an encounter, and it's a fruitful encounter.
From the artistic point of view and from the aesthetic point of view, let me say that it's even worse, because we have to find the right partner, the right guest. For example, the Maserati was the Gran Turismo car. So as you know, Maserati produced cars with an amazing style, but even not just driven by performance, but it was a perfect combination between elegance and performance. It was a bit the same for our product. As you can see, our Octo is not driven just by performance, but even the aesthetic is very important. With Tadao, we found the right person to add value to the Octo Finissimo titanium. As you see, the design of the watch is made with many surfaces, and it was perfect, the collaboration with Tadao. We made a collaboration with different watches, so not just for the Octo. Steve, you can see in the future we're going to have different collaboration for different watches. The question about Serpenti is very important. Today we already made a collaboration on the Serpenti with artists and with stylists, but more in the accessories. So this is one of the topic that we have in this moment inside the business unit, because we don't want to make collaboration just for male watches. I think it's very important to have collaboration even for ladies.
Absolutely.
And we already discussed with Antoine and Jean-Christophe about that. Why we decided to...
Yeah, we need to... I'm not sure people can see the questions.
Okay,
maybe we should read them or summarize them. So why did we decide to collaborate with Tadao Ando?
But the idea was because we have a very similar aesthetic on the Octo, because it's one of the most talented architects that you can find today, and because we try each time to add value to our products with our guests. So that's why Tadao.
So where does the connection to Japanese artists come from? Let's say there are two different things. There is a strong historical connection to artists. As a sponsor of art, we're sponsoring the Maxi Prize in Rome, which is probably the biggest artistic prize in Italy. We have been for decades supporting the renovation of the ancient Rome, and we are in many countries involved in artistic creation. So we have the chance to be in contact with artists. We did this collaboration with Zaha Hadid. I would say why a connection to Tadao Ando, well, like I would add to what you were saying, we do have a very deep, probably deep connections with the architects because they share common values with the designers. They are dealing with constraints, with technical constraints, and they manage to express their creativity within certain constraints, and there is therefore, let's say, an easy communication around those aspects. And why Japanese artists? Because we are particularly connected to the artistic scene in Japan, but it's far from being the only area where we do have connections. England, for instance, is an area where we do have connections because before Zaha Hadid, we did this beautiful BZ1. Let's say there was this beautiful creation around the concept of BZ1 by Anish Kapoor, for instance. So there's not one country only. It is true that we have deep connections with the Japanese scene, but there are lots of contacts happening in other places. Oh, there's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Octo Tadao Ando.
Octo Tadao Limited Edition. How to make East or West around time?
Wow.
Honestly, I didn't get it. Maybe you can...
Well, what I can... I think it's... I think the creativity that comes out now, and we see it from the feedbacks we're receiving, is universal.
Yeah.
Because I don't see...
Yeah.
Honestly, I see lots of people getting back to us about it from all over the world.
When we start to imagine a new watch, we don't have this kind of constraint in our mind. The idea is to have a Bvlgari product that works worldwide. For sure, when we play with Tadao or when we play with some specific architects or artists, it's not so easy to manage their own creativity. But our idea is to have a watch or a product that works worldwide, from different culture, from different type of client. We don't have, we make sometimes specific limited edition for some region because we receive a specific request from a specific market. But when we make a limited edition like the Tadao Ando one, it's for everyone because the watch is the artist. Honestly, it's amazing.
I'm glad the next question is for you because I could not answer.
Yes,
I'm
very
going to ask
personal
you.
object.
Yes, okay.
It means your time. What we have of most precious. Do you feel you have a responsibility as a watch brand on how you display it? can design symbolize time? Yes, we have a responsibility. For sure, it's our responsibility to show in which kind of way you can read the time on a Bvlgari product. It's very important for us to have a product that it's consistent with our heritage. At the same time, it's a contemporary in terms of aesthetics, in terms of message, able to talk with many different clients. So for sure we have this kind of responsibility, and we'll try to symbolize time in different way. Each brand, I think, has his own one. But for us, it's most important one is to play with the iconic elements of the brand. So the colors, the geometrical elements, our symbolism, and our sign.
I'm asking you, the next question is for you as well.
Yes.
Anderson watch proved that Octo Finissimo can work very well with alternate textures on the dial. Was this a surprise to you? And can that turn into further dial design ideas coming from the Maison?
Honestly, Octo is always a surprise for me, because we start to play with this watch. When I joined the company in 2001, one of my first sketch was made for an Octo with the Gerald Genta logo, with the grand complication with the perpetual calendar, and the second one was made for the first sketches of the bracelet. Each time that you play with the Octo, it's absolutely incredible, because it's like our Serpenti. You change the material, you change the face of the watch, the finishing of the dial, the finishing of the case, and you have a brand new watch. So as you can see on Serpenti, we have more or less 8 or 9 different ways to wear the Serpenti on the wrist. We start to open to the Octo on the same way, but honestly, it was a surprise for me, because it's very strong in terms of design. On the other hand, it's very versatile. Antoine, I think the next one is for you. Do you choose collaborations with customers' market in mind, or is the strength the brand?
To strengthen the brand. Yeah. It is not. It is clearly to strengthen the brand. I mean, we get back to the initial vision of collaborations. It has to bring something more. So you could also say, of course, if we bring something more to a product, it's also for our customers. But fundamentally, the question is, how do we fit? How does it work? What extra feelings, what extra emotions do we bring with this collaboration? And in a way, we like, we like to project this idea of the new pieces that are being created will mark our history as a brand. So clearly we have this idea of the extra element we bring to our brand equity. I mean, not like the word equity, but it's a bit our history. So is the spiral pattern on the dial a symbol of the black hole? That's an easy question.
Yes, the spiral, it's a symbol from Tadao, the idea to have the black hole. The beginning was not so easy, because the dial is very thin, ultra thin. So when he started to talk about the black hole, for us it was a bit not so easy, but he arrives with this kind of pattern, and it was very clear for everyone.
So I'm going to read the next question, but we won't answer it, because the question is, when do you plan a collaboration for a feminine icon, please? This Octo is a very strong statement. So thank you for the message about the strong statement of Octo. And when do we plan a collaboration for a feminine icon? I can say we dearly want to do one. Yeah. And the when, we won't answer specifically this question, but there will be a moment when we will come with a collaboration for women. Absolutely.
Yeah, we have to find the right guest. And it's not so easy, but this is the idea, to have a collaboration even on the female collection.
That's a tricky question. So, Antoine, as you lived in Japan, is Japanese perception of time different from Western perception of time? Yeah. Yes. So that's very complicated, and I'm clearly not an expert in this field. What I can say from my experience in Asia, it's this very, very strong, let's say, assertion and expression of a relationship between mankind, people, and time that is very different. Time is something that we control and we master in Europe. It's an expression of mankind's genius. It's an element that you limit. There's a beginning and there's an end. And it's very much something that is marking our relationship to time. In Asia, in Japan particularly, but I would say even in China, time is, we are subject to time. There is a relationship to time that is much more complex and probably less mastery of time. Time is a companion. There is no, the relationship to learning is interesting in Asia. There is no limit in learning. You never stop learning. You're never done. You're never closing the limit of time. So probably time in Asia remains more transcendental compared to where it stands in Europe. There's a bit of dream, or untouchable dream when you're talking about time in Asia.
It's for me.
Messages. You have a feeling on this?
No, but for me, I link the perception of the time with the perception of the aesthetic. So it's a very philosophical concept. For sure, Japanese has a different perception of time, and it's a different culture, different history. But it's a very, very, very long discussion, and honestly, I don't know from which side of the discussion I can start. Honestly, it's a very dangerous topic. Fabrizio, do you collaborate with other artists? Yes. Are the collaboration more difficult to imagine and design, or easier than the regular pieces? For sure, it's very difficult. Sometimes we have to drive our guest. Sometimes we have to follow. So Tadao, for example, was easier because he loved the constraints. He played with constraints. Architecture and watchmaking are completely different constraints, but both we are obliged to follow very precise constraints. Sometimes when you play and when your guest is an artist, is more difficult because you have to drive him to imagine that what he has in mind is not so easy to put on the dial. So sometimes it's very hard, and sometimes it's very easier. It depends, but it's harder than the common watch.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I see the next questions, and they're becoming, we're moving out of the pure endo thing, but it's funny anyway. So the first question is, how about the combination of complication and high jewelry instead of quartz to be also relevant in 50 years? You are so right. This is a good question, and we love to do those combinations. And we want this is probably where we can express the most amazing things on our side. If we manage to combine jewelry and high jewelry watchmaking, and you've seen some of our developments last year with the Serpentis Cédritory tourbillon, with this miniaturized tourbillon and this beautiful watch, that Serpentis watch that you could put on the wrist without creating something extremely big on the wrist. So managing to provide this elegant shape on the wrist and on a jewelry piece. So this was an expression. We did a minute repeater as well on the Diva collection. We love to do it, and we have lots of plans to continue to work in this field. We want to express the best of both worlds more and more, definitely. Now, are you going to ask me? I'm going to ask you the question you answer.
No, the answer is for you.
So next year is the 10th anniversary of Octo. Are there big plans? Yes, there are big plans. Now we have to turn them into reality. So let's concentrate on 21, and next year we hope to be able to surprise you, inspire you, and to make it physically rather than just through a screen.
Yeah.
Last question. We're being cut like this. We will meet again this year in Geneva for a new occasion of Geneva Watch Days, ? And the answer is yes. We would love to organize a physical moment in Geneva in September. We're working on it. Just looking at the, let's say, the dynamics of the sanitary measures now, we're confident that things are going to improve progressively during the spring and the summer. And so bear with us, but we hope to be able to soon send you an invitation to come and visit us in Geneva to physically experience our product and not only digitally look at our faces and our watches. So fingers crossed. Last, that's for you. Tadao-san is an icon in Italy. Is it because of his popularity that you chose him?
No, honestly, no. We chose him because we love Tadao. It's not so very popular only in Italy. It's for me, it's one of the most important architecture that we have today alive, and it was a great opportunity for us as a brand, first of all, to work with Tadao. This is the answer.
I guess we're done.
So,
we wish you all a very good end of day again, and we wish us all the possibility to meet again soon. I don't know how many people have expressed this wish for so many times, but I think if we have too many, there's never too many prayers anyway in these cases. So let's hope that we can see you very soon. Thank you so much. Thank you for your messages.
Thank you so much. You're very kind. Thanks a lot.
And looking forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.